Hello, and welcome to Liberate Your Life podcast, a place where we come together and explore Ayurvedic wisdom, holistic healing, and spirituality, empowering individuals to explore their true nature and transform their life. I'm your host, Melinda Reese, Ayurvedic practitioner, Panchakarma specialist, and founder of Tahoe Ayurveda. And I am here to help you transform your life. Welcome to episode 7, Liberate Your Life. What inspired Liberate Your Life podcast? Liberation, what does that mean? The act of setting someone free from limiting thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, conditioning. So the idea of liberate your life, our life is what we came here to do. And to live in freedom, to be connected to our authenticity, our divinity, and to be able to see through the egoic infrastructure that was built through conditioning and fear and stories and beliefs, and really to connect back to our true essence and to feel the freedom to express, to be connected to our dharma, to feel uninhibited. And that's not to say that that means that there's freedom to be mean or, cause suffering, but there's a relationship with life that there's an inner guidance, these deeper values, these spiritual values to be in right action, these dharmic values. And that is a deeper guidance. And the freedom is who you came here to be, and that you go through this deep journey of revealing that, your true nature, your true essence, becoming deeply intimate with your divinity, deconstructing the egoic movement, and feeling connected to your authenticity. There is nothing else like you in the world, and you came here to be this beautiful, vibrant expression. And so Liberate Your Life was inspired by my journey, my healing journey. And decades ago, the way I felt in my skin, in my heart, in my head, I never imagined that I could feel so quiet and so at peace in my own skin and so good with this woman, so deeply in love with my life. And I began this world, this life from the womb. I was exposed to violent behavior. My father suffered from PTSD from being a Vietnam vet. And then my mother was also a product of war out of World War II. And they both carried some struggle in their tissues. And I came out like a shooting star and had to individuate and protect myself, and really lived in a state of fight or flight up until I was 10. And mind you, I had a magical, beautiful life, and we lived in Germany and America, and we were playful, and we sang and we danced, and there was all these things. And not until later on in life did I realize what that environment and aspects of that environment, how that influenced my life later on. And so the first time I truly felt safe was when we moved back to Germany. I was 10 years old, and I began to really thrive and flourish because my father was back in the United States, and I knew he couldn't just come over and unleash this violent cycle and rage that he would do. And I really took a karmic turning in my own evolution and began to connect more with community and feel more stable in my own skin. And then we returned for high school, and then I left and I went to Santa Cruz. So as a 20-year-old young woman, I woke up one day and had this deep insight that I had forgotten who I was and that I needed to purify my body. And I am definitely a purist at heart. I love discipline and structure, and I love to really just shed my skin and transform. And I have a really fierce capacity to make changes, and I thrive in change. And so all of these created this movement where I got rid of anything that I felt was impure, from food to substances in my body. And I began walking every day, and I began practicing yoga, and I began meditation, and I went into a plant-based vegan diet, and all of these things were this like immediate purification. And I lost a lot of weight with that. And I really began becoming flooded with anxieties and overwhelm from my childhood that were locked in my tissues and locked in my psyche. And I became very unstable. And I decided that I could control my chemicals in my body, my emotions, through moving my body every day and the food I ate. And so that began my imprisonment of waking up every day to this like anxiety, neurotic control around moving my body, which I would spend most of the day moving my body, doing like my own style of triathlons every day, and then controlling my food, which was a really restrictive diet. At first, I starved myself for about 6 months and then realized that was really challenging, and that I could just be bulimic so I could still participate in life. And because so much is really constructed around food and eating, and I could just throw up. So that began a really intense, really profound journey for about 10 years, where I just purged and purged my system. I really needed to find this deeper alignment with what frequency, what did I want to be made out of. I really didn't want to sit and be in my body. The pain of my childhood and beyond was really too intense, and the anxiety and the overwhelm from losing weight and not eating enough, and being already of a very vata, air ether nature in Ayurveda. It just, I was really wanting to live and be in this more air, ethereal, spiritual realm, and that was safe there. And I didn't know how to land in my body. I didn't know what I wanted to be made out of. I didn't know who I was. And there was so much chatter. My mind was so loud, and it drove such an intense agenda every single day. And during that time, I fell in love with rock climbing, and I fell in love with holistic healing, and I started to devour everything that I could in the world of holistic medicine, and started studying Chinese medicine and Ayurveda and yoga and meditation and healing through whole foods and massage. And I connected into nature through rock climbing, and just spent a lot of time in the mountains, swimming in lakes and swimming in rivers and climbing big mountains and sleeping under the stars and living out of my truck. And then I went back to college, and I was doing so much, but there was such an intensity within me. And there's always an intensity with me. I'm an intense being with a lot of fire and a lot of intense energy. And I was just born with that, and I'm at peace with that, and I love my intensity. But at this point, I have learned to harness that energy and that power, and to use it in a way that is more healing and more compassionate for myself and for all beings. And so Liberate Your Life really came from me now at 40 years old. And I have been on a journey for the past 20 years for my own healing, and really coming to a place where I was ready to hold space for others on their healing journey. And I have had such an incredible, intimate journey in the dark, dark, torturous places. And I mean, I struggled with bulimia and not wanting to be on this earth, of this earth, in this body for so long, and really came through that and came through that. No one does it alone, but I really did it in my own way. And I studied and I learned and I burned and I fell and I crumbled and I got up again. And I used all these modalities, all these incredible mentors and teachings, and really found my way back home to me, and really had these incredible moments of unraveling all of this infrastructure of pain and suffering that was locked in my system. And so Liberate Your Life comes from my personal journey of really knowing in direct experience of what's possible when we do the work and we sit in stillness and we look at who we are and we deconstruct the egoic movement. We look at our beliefs and our stories and our conditioning and our fear and our anxieties, and we don't just say this is how it is, because there is something so much deeper that has always and already been there, that is so yearning for our presence, for our listening, to listen to that inner guidance and to live a life that feels truly authentic. And there, it's not that that is just a blissful existence. It comes with the suffering and it comes with the bliss. It just is the capacity to hold the entirety of life and to be at peace with what is, and to be free of the untruth and to really relax into the truth of your being, into the truth of life. And when I was 36, I got injured for the first time. And that was one of the biggest awakenings of my life, where I was being taken out of my own game in a way that I had never been before. And I just had to sit and be still. And that was the perfect medicine. It's one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And within that, I got to just see through so much of the egoic infrastructure and see still how this pain and this anxiety was still running my life, and how other people were feeling the pain that was so loud inside of me, and that other people were being burned by it, because when it was triggered, it was so strong and so fearful and so forceful. And so that began this time of inner stillness and meditation retreats, and really seeing that this pain, that I was done holding this pain on such a deep level, and it really transformed my life. Finding Ayurveda and studying it formally for those 3 years transformed my life and gave me some of these like key nuggets that really helped stabilize my nervous system and really stabilize my body in its form, in its earth, in its kapha, in its substance. And it's been a wild ride, and I truly am so incredibly blessed and humbled by how pure and how sweet and how quiet and loving and amazing it can really be inside of my being, inside my mind. And I really had to go through this incredible reprogramming my relationship with my body, with my food, with men, with the world, with commitments and consistency, and with direction and function. And I made so many messes along the way, and I can deeply forgive myself and really know that I was being just guided to do this work and to offer this work. And Liberate Your Life comes at a time when I feel so passionate about serving the transformation and what is possible when we do the work. And I just want to offer my heart and this greater wisdom and my voice, and hopefully someone out there hears something that lights something within their soul and guides them on their path to freedom. Thank you for joining me on episode 7, Liberate Your Life podcast and what inspired it. You can connect with me on Instagram at melindareese.co or head over to my website at melindareese.com and sign up for your free discovery call and explore how our work together can help liberate your life.